Thanks, Claudia, for introducing our topic today. I'm Michelle, and this is Mike. So I guess just kicking right into it, to put some perspective around who we are, we're the largest plantation grower in Queensland, ranging from Stanthorpe up to the Atherton Tablelands. Our beer barren plantations total around 30,000 hectares, and most of this is located on state government, state forest lands and is accessible to the public. So from a bird's eye view, from Bribie Island and across to the mainland, our plantations are visible amongst a matrix of native forest buffers and adjoining national parks. We comprise an important and by far the largest green part of the interurban break. So here we have just a quick snapshot of some of our protective practices that we implement to protect our plantation assets and the environment. With a 30-year crop that we're growing, sustainability is our foundation, and protecting the soil and water that our plantations grow on is paramount. So today what we want to focus on is a major challenge that we're facing in this particular catchment that is threatening both our productivity and our sustainability.
Thanks, Michelle. What's the real issue here really is that we have over 4 million people within day tripping range of the catchment, okay, of the plantation area. There's been an exponential growth in outdoor recreation. And the timber plantations are increasingly seen as venues for outdoor recreation activity. And some of the previous speakers have been talking about planning mechanisms that we've been working with to do that. But encroaching urban development is another string to that. And if you, looking at it and what we're seeing there is we're expecting an over 200% increase in population and pressure on where our plantations are. And that also has the potential to reduce the footprint of the plantation through land acquisition. But why is it such a challenge really for us? There's an increasing entitlement for people to do what they want on public land. Increasing level of unlawful activity. Our management efforts are often vandalised. As a private company, we have no enforcement powers, and our plantation licence from the state requires us to maintain public access. So it's a pretty wicked problem for us. What does it look like? Okay, so we're going to see some happy snaps, and I'm not going to talk. That's the Bribie Island fire. But look, successful management strategies to address these issues need to be both collaborative and behaviour changing, okay? It's as much a social issue as it is a forest management issue. What are we going to do about it? Michelle.
So we've got a variety of, I guess, what we call coping mechanisms for everyday management. We focus our resources where we can to do what we can. We probably burn a little bit more than we need to because we have to keep that fire risk down. But aside from that, we do have a number of collaborative and direct actions that we're undertaking to try and tackle these issues. And I've got some examples here. So we work with police and with parks on various compliance and enforcement activities. We have an arson prevention toolkit, which covers a range of different initiatives. Again, we work with other agencies to kind of manage illegal dumping and compliance. Some of our signage there. We promote recreational management, sustainable recreational management. And where we can, we prioritise our roadworks. We undertake preemptive plantation-wide closures when we have expected weather events coming, so high fire danger, large floods and rainfall events. And then in smaller areas, we undertake both temporary and permanent area closures for reasons of safety and environmental management. So there's a bit happening there, but I guess aside from all this, we still feel like we're just scratching the surface.
The catchment's under enormous pressure. It compromises safety a great deal in terms of both the community that lives around the plantations and the people that work in it, and the people that actually choose to go there and want to do responsible recreation. But why should it matter to you, really? I mean, you say we're a commercial forest grower, you're deriving income from the plantations, you should have enough resources to be able to deal with it. Look, we cover 40% of the catchment. You've seen some of the figures previously that are up there. We're a large landholder. What happens on the plantations affects the catchment greatly. But everyone has a stake in this real issue here, not just us as the land manager, and really we want to work together for long-term solutions. We see collaboration really being the key here. We can't do it by ourselves. It's simply beyond one company's resources to do it. And we've outlined to you some of the things that really impact, what we're trying to do here. And I guess at the end, here's another view from the top. Okay, it's like the view from the beginning, and I'm sure you've all seen plenty of beautiful pictures of habitat and vistas today of this area. Okay, but it's what underneath that is really causing the problem. And that's something that we want to leave with you, is the fact that, as a private business, we're very keen to collaborate and work on solving these issues, which ultimately destroy and make the area unsustainable for the very values that is a group of people we really want to preserve. So, thank you today.
Thank you very much. We've got a few interesting questions. Here's a simple one. How many stolen vehicles are dumped in your area a month?
There's about 200 a year. That's been our high point. We're probably back down around 104 a year now, so you guys can do the maths.
What do you do with them?
Well, I guess the vehicle joyriders and dumpers have got pretty smart, and so what they like to do is immediately set fire to them, which of course brings in some of the other issues. What we do now is fast removal. So we've organised with the police and with another car removal firm to take them to a holding yard while it all gets sorted out with the insurance companies and the police. So rapid removal is our technique.
And I also noticed that you mentioned something about managing fire. And do you want to just tell us a little bit more about how you react to accidental fires or incidental fires or intentional fires, and also how you do your prescribed burning, and the kind of effect that'll have on the catchment?
Okay, it's a triple-barreled question. Okay, how do we react to fires? We have a multi-pronged attack there. First, we operate a surveillance system. So we have both fire towers and what we have, and on those we have digital cameras. So these are high-resolution digital cameras that we can aim anywhere in the catchment and take cross bearings on fires. Then we maintain a rapid response. So particularly here at our centre at Beerburrum, we maintain 2 heavy fire tankers, all-terrain vehicles, and around about 6 light attack vehicles, which they vary in capacity from 4,000 litres down to 500 litres. And what underpins that is highly trained staff and contractors who are trained to deal with plantation and native forest fires. So it's quick detection, quick response, limit the fire area. In our mind, a good fire is a small fire, right? And that does two things. Limits the damage to our commercial assets, being the pine trees, and lessens the risk to adjoining communities from an uncontrolled wildfire. Prescribed burning program. It's called prescribed burning program because we operate to a prescription. What we do is work towards modifying the fuel structure under the trees. So we use a progressive series of burns at what we call a burnable age. Trees need to get a certain height before we can put a low intensity fire under them. And then we progressively bring the fuels down such that we can have low intensity fires underneath. After that, the strategic burning program is based on our historical data of arson hotspots and where we've got unlawful activity, and also on making a mosaic of burnt and unburnt areas, which limits the spread of wildfire travel. So wildfires will run into an area that's been burnt, drop down in intensity, and then we can put it out. We also work very heavily with our neighbours, Queensland Parks and Wildlife Service, and with QFES in managing fires, and they're critical partners to us. Big answer, but it was a big question.
Yeah, and that answered a couple of other questions that were here too, so thank you very much. Just one more. What is the long-term tenure plan for the plantations in the Pumicestone catchment?
Do I get to answer this one as well? Okay. HQ Plantations has a 99-year lease, which started in 2010. So we will be going well into the next century. So our objective is to maintain sustainable production on that area. It is an important wood supply basket for our customers, processing mills. It's also, as we've been talking a lot about today, important source of, in the native forest areas, of habitat. It's a buffer to the national parks. It's a place for outdoor recreation. So our intention is to remain there for the longevity of the licence.
Okay, could you join me in thanking our people from HQ Plantations?